Hi, it's Christy, and welcome back to the second episode of Well Intended. First, I just want to say thank you so much to the people who reached out to me after the first episode was published. It was really very lovely and very kind to hear from you. And I love hearing from people, even though I am still mildly embarrassed that this is a thing and people can listen to my voice. And I don't know, sometimes it is just embarrassing to get validated, even though it's so needed. And that's why community is needed. But validation is so important. And I think embarrassment is fine. It's an involuntary reaction and emotion. So it's fine. But really, thank you so much. And I'm glad that it was helpful, because even though I talked a big game about it being a helpful exercise, certainly for me to hear other people talking about stuff, and therefore other people must also be thinking the same thing, there is still that creeping sense of fear that nobody is going to like the thing that you made. So thank you. Just thank you. It's great that people have found it helpful already. So thanks. It really motivates me to keep going. So that's great. P.S. If anybody wants to reach out that doesn't have a different way of contacting me already, you can email me at wellintendedpod@gmail.com. I love to talk about all this stuff. Obviously, I'm talking about it into a microphone right now. Speaking of which, I have repurposed a filter from a different mic that I had. So hopefully the plosives aren't as bad as it was when I was editing the last one. I guess we'll see. Sorry, post-production Chrissy, if it is still bad, but we will learn and we will continue to move on and get better. Because isn't that what all of this is about? No. So yes, welcome back. I am currently at my parents' house in the suburbs, and I'm here for the holiday season. I'm here for a little bit of a vacation, but what even is a vacation right now in my situation, I don't know. They mean very little to me. And also, I did so much traveling. I just had this thought the other day where it's like, I did so much traveling at my job that I don't think I'm into it anymore. Like, I'll go places. I think that's fine, but I'm tired. Yeah, I spent a good chunk of my late teens and early 20s here figuring out what to do with my life and taking lots of bus trips out to the city, to my jobs, various jobs, where I really met a lot of people who I still consider dear friends and collaborators today. But I feel a little bit similar to that time, which is to say, I feel kind of stuck, and not necessarily in the same ways, but I think similar in that I just don't know what's going to work, and it's going to take time, which is disappointing to me because I am so impatient. That is part of the ADHD, but also who doesn't want things to move faster? Why wouldn't people be impatient? We love gratification. And so why wouldn't I want it to happen faster? But no, it is very reasonable for things like applying for arts grants and residencies and submitting work to places to take time. It takes time. It takes time for your labor, and it also takes time for deliberation, which again is disappointing. But, my previous tactic of microdosing submissions, I think still works in some cases, but there is, of course, a little bit more of a pressing need to complete applications for money reasons. So that is something that's looming over me, as well as just this foreboding sense of the future, which valid, that's fine. There's so many things happening right now, which creates a lot of tension with all of the things that are not happening right now that I really want to happen. December is also just a really fucking weird time. It's the end of the year. It's supposed to be, a friend described it as it's meant to act like the culmination of the year and all the things that you've done over the year. And I'm like, but it doesn't feel like that. None of it feels like that. I think really the culmination is when you die. It should be measured in your life, not by the year. So the fact that we place so much importance on dates is maybe wild to me. I don't know. This is definitely a thought I have not put a lot into, as you can tell. But I do think that summer is my real hibernation period. Winter probably occupies some of that space too. I think the fall, for the under 6 weeks that fall sticks around, I think that's my true like rebirth time, which maybe I think that tracks because November was a really good productive time for me. But that's another thing. Like, I think part of the foreboding feeling is that I feel stuck, like nothing is happening. And that's okay because I fucking need a break. I don't know if I have said that already. This is my 4th attempt to record this. But yeah, I fucking need a break. Everybody needs breaks. And breaks are valid. They are still you living your life. You're still doing things. They don't look productive on the surface, but rest is resistance. And we need to do that because so much of productivity and the need for productivity is internalized capitalism. Also, sorry if you can hear like little creaks and stuff. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I'm in my mom's office. Like the heating might kick in and I'm sitting in a bit of a creaky chair, but that's okay. If you hear it, then it's ambiance and we will just be a little spooked and haunted together. And that's bonding. Oh, fuck, where was I? Yeah, productivity. It's really hard to take a break. I was just reminded of this, but it's so needed and it's so valid. And you need that to replenish your well of creativity, if we want to bring it back to the purpose of this podcast. But yeah, it's really fucking hard. But it is also why I brought, because I knew, I was like, this is my time to hopefully just not worry about other things. Of course, I'm going to be worrying about other things. I can't just stop doing that. But I brought 3 books and some knitting projects, which I started almost a year ago. I started them just before my sabbatical and got them to a point where they were perfect projects. They had just enough variety to the pattern that I wouldn't get super bored, but they were simple enough that like I didn't have to really pay attention to a lot of what I was doing and just had to make sure things were like the correct lengths. But then it like hit a point where I would have to like learn a new technique that I didn't know, which is exciting and fun and great, but something definitely stopped me and prevented me from moving forward with that. And so I just hadn't picked them up until now. But yeah, a time to just like do other stuff. Brought my podcasting stuff so that I could record podcast, and the editing I think will be really fun for that again, because I do really enjoy editing and cutting together a podcast episode. I really cannot tell you the amount of silences and just like dead air and so many I cut out from these. It's a lot. So if we ever get the chance to talk in person, then I just want you to recognize that I'm a real person and I do not sound this articulate all the time without very many ums. Now, on the flip side of this, if I were in a position where I was feeling stuck and I did want to get things done and didn't feel the need to take a break, or, you know, a little bit purposefully wanted to get out of a break or a funk or whatever, then there are things that are a little bit tried and true for me. It is still the problem that I have with ADHD that many of the structures and systems that I put in place will inevitably fail. But that's okay, because they might do that for like a few months. And then I can come back to it and it works similar to the way it did before. Or, you know, I just try something else and then that becomes my thing. But there are certain things that do well. There's really one thing that works super well for me, which is using other people as tools. That's purposefully meant to sound vague and weird because it just makes it fun. So what I mean by that is I go to the coffee shop because I think of the people there, the strangers there, as body doubling tools. They become a part of my process. The trick is that I want to go there and look busy because I need these people to think that I am very productive and working on important creative things. Because of masking, I do end up being productive and working on important creative things. And then I just get stuff done. That also incorporates changing, like a change of setting, a change of pace. Plus, maybe you get a nice little tea and a snack, and then you feel that you've had an experience. But yeah, body doubling. I just always thought it was a lot funner to think of it that way. I think perspective matters a lot. If it's not fun and it's not going to bring you joy, you're just not gonna want to do it. Like, yeah, it's hard to write and it's hard to create and it's hard to do the thing, but there needs to be an element of enjoyment in the whole process. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. Accountability buddies are also super helpful. There's a couple ways that I did that before. One was through Discord. This works if you're far from the people that you're accountability buddying, but I joined like a couple communities for fan fiction writers a couple years ago. There's like a bot or an app that you can add to Discord that will run writing sprints for you, automate them based on like how long you want to do them for. And then you can record like your word counts if that's your thing, or you just, state your intention at the beginning. Like if you're going to do an outline or if you're working on like a character sketch or something. And then you check in when it's done. So I think the most used ones we did 30-minute sprints. I got a lot of writing out of it, but it can be kind of a lot with like the notifications and everything that comes along with Discord. So that's definitely one of my systems or tools that doesn't have strong staying power. I think it worked for a bit and then I don't know. It didn't work anymore. But other times it's just like making a promise with someone that either you or them or both of you are going to do whatever, and then checking in with each other and keeping yourselves accountable. It's not like berating each other if you haven't done the thing that you said you wanted to do, but celebrating and encouraging along the way. Yes, celebrating too, recognizing the things that you're doing that are not necessarily like completing something. Well, maybe what I mean to say is this idea that done is better than perfect. If you do go and read that blog post about giving and receiving feedback, you'll see at the end that I was like, I already know that I am losing momentum, so I need to publish this. I think that's important to recognize and important to celebrate or feel good about the thing. It's hard, but it's important. You should feel good about the fact that you did it. So if you did the thing today, whether that's getting started on something, okay, first of all, getting started on something is the fucking hardest part for me. Okay, maybe I should just say that getting started is the hardest part. If you started something, if you reworded a sentence, if you glued two things together, if you, I don't know, put googly eyes on something, then I celebrate you. I congratulate you on your accomplishment today or tomorrow or whatever day you're going to do the thing. It's important that you are doing it and that we are doing it. And we continue to be and find ways to be creative, making things for the world. So sappy, so gross, and so vague, dude. I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now in my life. There's lots of exciting things happening and there's lots of scary things happening. And moving through that in a way that honors my capacity, our capacities, is difficult, valuable, exciting, nerve-wracking, and new. Everything is new all the time. I go back to the reality that whenever you are remembering something, so you're calling up a memory, your brain is recreating it. I think I was watching a true crime documentary that was like, the more that you try and remember something and you follow the paths of that memory in your brain, you are degrading it. Like, it's deteriorating, because it's like accessing memory in a computer or whatever. Do I know enough about computers to be talking about it like this? No. But memory stuff, that is what I mean when I say everything is new all the time. Even if it's something that you've done before, you've thought of before, it's new because you're new. Every consecutive moment, you are bringing more experience, more knowledge, more connections to everything that you know and had known before. I don't even know. Now I think I'm getting too philosophical, and perhaps this was a self-fulfilling prophecy for my head to get too fucking big, because I put one of the topics or categories for this podcast as philosophy. I'm not a philosopher. Maybe I am a creaky office chair philosopher. Okay, so recap. You're going to feel stuck. It's okay to feel stuck. It's okay to take a break. You need to take a break. And it's also going to feel bad to take a break. You're not alone in whatever you're feeling. It's really hard. Internalized capitalism is the worst. Rest is resistance. Resting is valuable, and resting helps you come back stronger. If you are feeling stuck and you want to try ways to get out, try things like changing your setting, like go to a new place, have an accountability buddy or an accountability tool. One other thing that I don't try very often because I don't think that I need it a lot, trying like a different format can help kind of kickstart things. So for me, that would be, because normally I do all of my writing on a computer, on my laptop, but I do like physically writing things down. I don't always have the most luck with writing like full notes for pieces that I want to write, but it is something that works for a lot of people. It might just help you get yourself out of a too well-worn groove. So just trying different ways to get you started or get you back into whatever it was that you were doing. Yeah, here's the problem with continuing stuff, and something that I have always thought about myself and have seen work in action too many times. I am a great first date. I am really great at first dates, not as great at subsequent dates. Friends have told me before that I need to be more mysterious, that I have to like save some mystery. And to that I say, I simply cannot, because that's just not how I'm built. I think quite often I will front load a lot of things, personality, fun stories, etc., etc. And so most of that energy is in the first date, which goes really well. And then I can't, for some reason, sustain it on the second date. Maybe it was just my experiences. I don't know. But I am sitting here recording this, wondering if this second episode will be, quote unquote, as good as the first one. I think that's a normal feeling. I definitely know I'm not alone in feeling that about this type of situation. And that's normal. So I guess we're going to call this done. I hope it was helpful. And if not, I hope you enjoyed listening. I think the bi-weekly cadence will be fairly sustainable for this going forward. So I would expect to have the next one up, I can't count, second week of January. If you want to check out the blog post that I wrote about giving and receiving feedback, again, that's on wellintendedpod.com. I will hopefully try and I think write those for the off weeks. So it'll be like 1 week a a podcast, and the next week a blog post, and then a podcast, and then a blog post. And if you want to reach out and have a chat, or you have questions or things that you think would be helpful to talk about on the podcast, reach out to me at wellintendedpod@gmail.com. Thanks for being here. If you listen to the very end, I hope you have a good start to your new year, and I will see you then. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Okay, bye.